Hello, Flosstube. Welcome to our homestead.
I'm Little One.
I'm Eldest.
And I'm Lynette here at Homesteading on the Home Front. It is Sunday, February 24th. This is episode number 38 for us, and we're excited to be here. You may notice that we have a little different backdrop. We are in, I guess you would call it the craft room office library. When my aunt and uncle lived here, this was the family room, and my husband wanted it to be the family room as well because it's in the back of the house and it's a lot more private at night. But we are not really formal living room kind of people, so I claimed this as the craft room. So here we are. It's still a mess, but it's getting to the point where it's usable. The girls were off this week for school vacation, and so at one point they were doing puzzles with my husband. I was in the chair stitching, and so it's definitely a multi-purpose kind of room. So here we are, and welcome. Okay, I need to say a thank you to Donna Ray for, she sent a lovely Valentine and some wonderful finishing ribbon that will definitely get put to good use. So thank you for that, my dear. And then we can get straight into FFOs.
So this is a piece that I designed myself and stitched a while back. It says, "Only two things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity, and I'm not sure about the former." When we finished it, it's got some cool hooks.
I had found that wooden piece at the thrift store, and I was going to use it for something, and then realized it was the right size for her Einstein, so it's pretty ghetto finished, but she did a good job painting it, and it will be hanging in her room
At some point.
I have one finish. Let me dig it out here. I had gotten to do some snow day stitching, which you will see in a minute, and then I decided I'd had enough of that. It stopped snowing, and I was going through my seeds and getting ready to start them, and so I was ready for spring. And so I started and finished one of the Prairie Schooler Farmers Market vegetables. Here's the radishes. I don't even have the thing to show you. I showed the cover in my last video for all you who want to see what they look like. I can't decide what I'm going to do next, if I'm going to do tomatoes or peppers or I don't know. Now that I think of it, it's probably going to be something that's not red and green because this took me longer than it should have. It was 6 days that it took me to do this. And I don't know why, but there you have it, 6 days. Oh. Alright, so that was my finish. And then, while we were unpacking, which is a never-ending job, I found this. And I think that I was in high school when I stitched this, judging by the... Look at this. It's like all that old felt, and it's just glued on, and the lace is floppy, and I don't even know what book this came from. But there you have it. A blast from the past finish. Okay. Whips. You want to talk about whips?
Sure.
Alright, tell us what you've been working on.
Okay, so my snow day project was Country Cottage Needleworks Snowman Trio.
We actually had 2 bouts of snow since we last filmed. One day, the kids got out of school at 11:30, and it started snowing at about 12, and so we got to spend the whole afternoon stitching. And then, was it the next? It wasn't the next day. It was a few days later. They had a 2-hour delay. So yeah, we got some nice snow out of the deal. And then, was that it? Yeah.
On the first day of snow, I didn't get much done, but...
Do you need something behind that?
Nah, we're good.
It's showing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is showing. Yeah.
So I've started a snowman and the branch. My next whip is the one I've been working on. It's Lizzie Kate Kitty String. And I'm nearing the end of it now. can't really see it, but I've got a cat there.
So next time that'll be a finish. And how do you want to finish this?
I might mount it on a piece of wood. We're probably not going to find a frame for it.
Yeah, it's it's an awkward shape. I had suggested maybe sewing it into a project bag, but she likes the vinyl front ones instead of the ones where you can actually sew cross-stitch in as part of the design. So I think we're just gonna probably mount it on a piece of wood and see how we can Priscillify it. I don't know, with cats that's gonna be interesting.
Just find like a...
And Eldest! Nice of you to join us! For those of you in Flosstube land who are relatively new to our channel, it's been a while since Eldest has been with us. School started in the fall and she was very involved with marching band and her horse lessons, and so there has not been a lot of time for stitching. But like I mentioned, they were on February vacation this past week, so she did do some stitching.
Marching band is like signing your life away for 3 or 4 months.
But it's worth it.
Debatable.
So, Division 2 national champs.
So I'm still working on my Not All Those Who Wander Are Lost.
And then is that by Stitchrovia?
Yes.
On Etsy you can find this.
Same one that did She's Fierce. So that's what I have so far. It's only been a couple of days since I picked it back up, but
she got a lot of the back stitching done, so the worst is over. Basically, she's done with the scene, and then just needs to work on the letters, which should go quick. So maybe next time we come back, you'll have a finish, or maybe 8 months from now, she'll have a finish. Okay, I have several whips. As I mentioned, we get to start working on our snow day projects. And my snow day project is the much coveted Scenic Farm. I had seen Farm Girl do this, and then I had seen it in the background of a couple of Joan and Kelly's videos. And I beat the rush because I bought it on eBay and I think I paid $30 including shipping. So now it's going for much more than that. So I was very happy about that. But I waited to start it until we had snow. And so nothing really exciting except a tree and some background. I usually stitch over one strand. Doesn't matter if I'm on 36 count or 32 count, 28 count. I just prefer one strand of floss. Now this is 18 count Ada, which is fine because if it's full coverage, I don't care what it's on. It is not stitched with one strand of floss. In some cases, I am using 4 strands of floss. Now they're only half stitches if it calls for 4 strands. But it is so thick, like I don't know, I'm trusting the process and I'm sticking with it, but 4 strands is not my favorite, let me tell you. Alright. And then, I have been working on his eyes on the sparrow, but not very much, so I didn't even bring that to show you. I did bring you this one, Heartstring Samplery, his eyes on the sparrow, and we've got a window in front of us, so there's going to be a lot of glare, I think. But that's never let you go. And as I mentioned many times, I'm changing this up, and it's actually my Sunday project, and I haven't gotten to stitch on it yet today, but I will, and I will add more to it. So far, though, we have the alphabet and we have the people. Yes, I am putting people in a sampler. I don't usually do that because I don't usually like people, but these weren't terrible, and because of the quote, I figured it kind of needed people in it. So, I am hoping to do a video at some point about this particular piece in specifically, and how I'm changing it and how I went about doing that, so that those of you who are interested in resizing things and changing samplers up can get a better feel for what's involved in that. And then my final whip is a little boss. It's a bossy sampler, that's all I have to say. Because when we lived in Guam, I found it on the internet, on eBay, and this little bossy sampler said buy me, because including shipping, it was $16, and it came with, like, I forget how many skeins of weeks and the linen and all that stuff. So it's Cherry Holler. It's Stacy Nash. It was a limited edition. It came in this cute little thing here. And because it came in this little pouch, everything was in it, and it kind of got tucked away, and I had forgotten all about it until I was unpacking and found it. And then this little bossy sampler said, you need to add me to your 2019 plans because I want to get stitched. So I said, okay, at some point. So I had done the winter scene. I was done with that. I was done with snow for that particular time. I will still take more snow because we haven't had very much. So then I went to my radishes, and I did my radishes, but I was done with red and green. And so again, this sampler said, stitch me. And so I did. I started it. This is another one. It will not surprise you at all to note that I am making changes to it. Actually, for once, I don't have to make changes to the size of it. This is an 18 count fabric that it came with, and if I stitch it on that, it's just going to be about 8 by 10, which, right, 8 by 10 frame. However, an 8 by 10 frame has an opening that is more like 9.5 by 7.5. So normally this would not fit in a standard size frame. However, I happen to have a frame on hand that I got at a yard sale or thrift store whose opening is exactly 8 inches by 10 inches. So I am going to use that frame on this project, and I didn't have to change the size of it, which is good because the border, let me show you again. This border is pretty intricate, and to kind of resize that would be difficult unless you could resize it like exactly the width of the repeat, if that makes sense. But anyway, this is what I have so far. And the first change that I made is I changed the colors of the letters. They were all supposed to be done in this color right here, and I wanted them to be more colorful. And then the second thing I did, you can see here, they're like spread pretty far apart in the sampler. I think they're four squares apart, which I didn't like, because I think that if I was a girl stitching this sampler back in the day, I wouldn't have wasted space like that. I would have put my letters as close together as possible so that I could have fit as many as possible in there and gotten as much practice as possible. Well, maybe, let me take that back. Maybe if I was the little girl, I would have stitched like this so I didn't have to stitch as many letters. But I'm pretty sure my teacher or my mother would have said, put your letters closer together. So that's what I decided to do here. Now the other change I'm making with the sampler is that I didn't like the house. It was just too much house and too much red, and it would have driven me crazy. I did love that this sampler is symmetrical, because that's kind of one of my things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the house out and I'm going to put a quote in. And I'm going to tell you what that quote is at a later date. I'm going to save it. But again, this sampler is bossy. It told me exactly what quote it wanted. And so that's what it's going to get. So stay tuned for that one. Okay, so that's 3 whips. That's more than enough, right? Usually I'm a one at a time kind of girl. Okay, but I've got some pretty big projects going right now. The winter scene is it's gonna take me forever because I'm only stitching on it when it's snowing. His Eyes on the Sparrow, again, maybe I can have it done in the late fall, early winter next year, but I'm not really trying to get it done fast. I do still have my Nantucket Girl sampler, or my Nantucket sampler, which I'm going to be able to stitch on in a couple weeks because we're going to be heading down to Newport. And for those of you who are new, that's what I stitch on when we're in Newport. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be starting anything anytime soon because I want to get more vegetables done from the farmer's market, Prairie Schooler. I want to get this cherry holler done, and I want to get some good work done on Never Let You Go this afternoon. Okay, so that's our stitching. Now we can talk about the Frugal Yankee retreat that's coming up. It is the last weekend in March. If you've been here, you've heard us talk about it because we're pretty excited about it. We're looking, I haven't counted, but I think we're probably close to 30 people, which I think is going to be a great number. It's not going to be too small. It's not going to be too big. We're just going to have time to chat and stitch and get to know each other. And I was totally excited because I had posted a few weeks ago on the Facebook page, hey, is anyone up for a potluck? Do you want to do Crockpot Friday? And because this is the Frugal Yankee Retreat, and a lot of us are frugal Yankees, the response was overwhelming. Yes. The cat just knocked down our mirror that we had in back of the camera to see ourselves. So it's a good thing we're done showing what we need to show. Oh, well. Anyway, so the response was overwhelmingly yes, we want to have Crockpot Friday. Pam and Steph are coming out from Ohio, so it's perfect, right? This is going to be the biggest Crockpot Friday yet. So we're excited about that. I will be posting more information about that in the Facebook page for the group. If you are interested in coming to the retreat, it's going to be at the Residence Inn in, I believe I'm saying it right, Westford. Yes, it's up near the World in Stitches, which is one of our 2 local needlework shops. And there's also the Quilted Crow in the vicinity, which is great if you are a quilter or wool applique person. They carry lots of fabrics. I will post the link below to get our special group rate. And once you've made your reservations, ask to join our Facebook page, and there will be more information there as time gets closer. Are you laughing at the cat?
He got stuck in the cabinet.
He's stuck in the cabinet.
Yes.
All right. Anyway.
He's on the second shelf.
I mentioned the World in Stitches, and now I'm going to mention Bush Mountain Stitchery because that's our other brick and mortar store in Massachusetts. And Gary just posted on their Facebook page that they are actually moving locations. They just opened in the fall in Palmer, Mass., but they had a problem with roof leaking pretty seriously. And so now they are moving to West Brookfield. For those of you in the Central Mass area, I believe this is the same location that they were in 5 years ago. I was not here at that point, so I was never at that old location. But it's the same location that they used to be in. So I just wanted to make sure everyone in this area got that news that no longer in Palmer, so don't go to Palmer. Head on over to the, I think they posted it in the Bush Mountain Blowout Sale Facebook page. I don't yet think it's been posted on the regular Bush Mountain page. But anyway, just an FYI.
Is that closer to us?
It's probably a little closer, maybe 5 or 10 minutes closer, but we have to go a different way to get there. All right, just some news around the homestead. What's been going on? So yesterday and then last Saturday, we did some boiling down of our maple syrup sap, and so we now have beautiful amber maple syrup, which I don't think you can see the beautiful color because there's no light shining through it, but it's beautiful if I do say so myself. We've gotten about 1/2 gallon so far, and we've got more sap that's waiting to be boiled. So my goal for this season is 3 gallons. I don't know that it's going to be a fantastic year for maple syrup, so I don't know that we're going to get there, but something to shoot for. We added 2 more taps because we have a tree out front that is a maple tree, and so we tapped that one too. So we are up to 14 taps, and having fun doing it. It's we've been very lucky that the days we needed to boil have been kind of mild and not windy, and so we'll sit in front of the fire and watch the sap boil down and throw some hot dogs on and call it a day. And then our other major homestead news is that we have decided to hold off on chickens until next spring. Right now there's no place for my husband to even build a chicken coop. So we need to clear out the basement and clear out the garage and get stuff in order to have a chicken coop and a chicken run built. So rather than stressing ourselves out about that, we are just going to hold off for now. But the bees will be here in March, and I've been pruning blueberries and kind of procrastinating on pruning we have a very overgrown apple tree that used to be loved, and it's been many years since it's had a proper pruning, so I'm kind of overwhelmed and I don't even know where to begin with it. So I think next weekend that is going to be the #1 priority. All right. I don't even know. I can't see anymore how long it's been. So we will call it a episode and say fair winds and following seas. Bye, Flosstube.